What's happening? Jason Wright from Intentionally Inspirational here, and I'm going to show you how to get started with ActiveCampaign. I'm an ActiveCampaign certified consultant, and I use it every day for my business and for all of my clients. All right, so this is what it looks like when you get into a new account. You've got this dashboard view, in my opinion, that's very, very cluttered. Okay, there's all kinds of things listed here that you can access down here at the bottom of the page. There's, in my opinion, the most critical option is not one of the default listings, and that is going to be your interaction rate. So you can feel free to click and drag these items as you want to. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to X out some of the stuff that I don't want up here, and you can set this up the way you see fit. And what I typically roll with is I only care about active contacts, and that interaction rate is pretty important. Okay, because if you hover over it, it's going to show you interaction rate is going to give you the average opens and clicks over the last 10 campaigns. Typically, if you see single digits with this over time, something's wrong. Something is very wrong with your account. Okay, when you log in, you're always going to see some default placeholder activity. I've talked to a lot of people in the past that have got confused and said, hey, I didn't know I had Twitter mentions. I don't even have a Twitter account. So that's what that's all about there. Okay. There is this getting started menu if you want to use it. May be helpful for you. I don't use it because I have set up a few hundred accounts at this point. But just you can take a look, and it does have some good ideas here. Okay. So you can use it if you want to. If you don't want to use that, you can X out of it. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove that for the purpose of this. Okay. All right, so one of the first things you will want to do is you will want to pop over here to settings. This is for a brand new ActiveCampaign account, or maybe an account you've never really set up fully. Okay, and you can see this is my sandbox account that I created. All right, so you'll want to come over here to addresses, and you'll want to enter an address. Okay, the reason why is if you don't have an address, legally, you can't send an email, and that is a campaign or an automation. Can't do it. So legally, a mailing address is what you need. A P.O. box is perfectly acceptable as well. So we will make up a fictitious, well, we'll make it a real company. That's me. Okay, and you'll do this right away. Okay, and we will just put sample. I'm in Indiana. I'm in Martinsville, Indiana. There's my real zip. All right, so once you get that set up, you can now send an email. Okay, so that's an important place to start. What next? I like to go to tracking, and this is universal setup information for any business, any user of ActiveCampaign. Okay. When you come here, this is going to look really confusing, especially if you've never used anything like this, but I promise it's not. All right, you'll notice on this tracking page, there's site tracking and there is event tracking. We're only going to focus on this area in this video. So you want to turn site tracking on, and what you're going to do is you're going to add your main website URL. Okay, so I'll put it in mine, intentionallyinspirational.com, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit add, and you're going to leave this default checked. Okay, and it's always going to show you site tracking, and then if you do eventually upgrade to get conversations, which is the ActiveCampaign kind of chatbot feature, you can click it here as well, and it's going to generate some tracking code. Okay, you're just going to simply copy this into the footer of your website, your funnels, any asset like that that you're regularly using. Okay, and the reason that that's important, it's there's a few reasons, but once people are in your ActiveCampaign account, if they visit the products page in your website or they visit certain pages, their activity will actually be captured in ActiveCampaign, which is super useful to see the path that people have taken. It's super useful to use that activity to trigger automations. There's a lot of things you can do with it. So very easy to set up, very, very important. A lot of people miss that. Okay, it's not something you want to miss. All right, next you will need at least one email list. Okay, and I'm just going to give you kind of a sample here. You may have and there's no rules to this. There's a million things you could do here. Just making up a URL for this. All right, and whatever description you put, your contacts will see at the bottom of the list. So if you're one of those people scraping together a list like you shouldn't be doing, make sure you put a description that people are going to read and go, okay, and it's going to make sense to them. Okay, so hopefully you're building a list the right way, and that is through opt-ins, people who actually want to be there. All right, so if you had just 2 lists, maybe it looks something like this. Maybe you've got a prospects list, and then maybe you've got so it even gives you some recommendations. I was going to say a customers list and a newsletter. Okay, those are a good 3 to start with, right? Everybody starts here. Maybe they get added here, but I like everybody ending up in one place as well. I'm a big believer in constantly engaging and contacting your current customers and future potential customers. Big missed opportunity if you don't do that, okay? You could build a form next if you need some way to get people into ActiveCampaign. Depending on what plan you are, there's between 1 and 4 options available. If you use a platform like ClickFunnels or Lead Pages, you can just do a direct form integration, so you won't have to actually build a form in ActiveCampaign. But let's say you wanted to build a simple form. So we'll just go, if you just have the light plan, your only option is going to be the inline. You can pick several options, right? Add to list, add a tag, etc., etc. So maybe just to start with, you're going to subscribe. They're going to join your prospects list, and you can even go more simple with it. We could even just go newsletter list if you want. Only about 1% of people will sign up for your newsletter, so you're going to do much better if you have an actual offer for them. Okay, that is a different video in itself, but hopefully that makes sense. But you want at least 1 option for people to get on your list. Okay, and I will show you here. There's different things you can adjust with the fonts, the formatting. If you know any coding, you can do a lot with that as well to help you out. This will default. This is important to show because a lot of people miss this. This will default to a double opt-in, meaning when somebody opts in, they get an email that says, "Are you sure you want to be here?" And if they say no or they do nothing, they don't come on your list. Okay, so I generally turn that off. To each their own. I'm not going to tell you what to do. To each their own. Okay, and as soon as you hit integrate, you can embed this with 2 types of embed code. You can actually use a link and use it as like a little landing page. You can hook it up with WordPress or Facebook as well. Okay, so you've got a form. You've got a way to get people into ActiveCampaign. If you've got emails, contacts from a different list that you want to import, it's very, very easy. And I think I have some in here from a real account to show you. So you'll have to import a .csv file. If you're using Google Sheets or you're using Microsoft Excel, you can download it into this format, or if you export a list from any other email service provider, it will be in this format. Okay, so you can just click import, and I've got some in here somewhere. Actually, I won't actually go through with it. Here we go. So here's a CSV file. I'm not going to actually fully import it, but what it'll do is if it's formatted properly, it will read the columns on the sheet and then ask you where you want to put them in ActiveCampaign. Okay, we haven't created any custom fields yet. We just have these options, right? If we wanted to create a new option so that the employer title in this example matches an employer title in ActiveCampaign, can simply add a new field, which is a custom field. So it's pretty easy to do in that regard. You select your list, you add any tags if you want to, and then you can click import now. Now if you click this button here, on a new import, it's not going to really matter, but what this does is it allows you to overwrite existing contacts already in your system. If you uncheck this and you already have people on your list and you import them again, it will not import them twice. It keeps you safe and does not import anybody twice, okay? So that's how easy that is to import people into your list, okay? Any other custom fields you know you might need? Show you how you could set those up. And I'm just trying to go over the basics here, guys. I'm just trying to get you set up and off the ground here, okay? So Custom fields are actually underneath this forms menu here. If you click on that, and okay, we get to the sub menu, manage fields. You've got three different kind of tiers of custom fields, right? You have custom fields related to the account. So for some businesses, if you're working with, say, a Best Buy, and there's a bunch of different locations, the account could be Best Buy, and you may have 20 different contacts that work for Best Buy. So that's where you would use the account level. For a lot of smaller businesses, depending on what you do, you might work in this spot mostly, right? Contacts, you've got a few basic fields. Then you can add custom fields of your choice. And if you look, there's a lot of different options to what type of custom fields there are. So honestly, if you can conceive it, you can build it. You can create anything, and there is no limit to the amount of custom fields you can use. So very, very powerful. Okay. The next thing you'll need is at least one template. So you can send a campaign or a broadcast email, either. You can come over here to look at some of the pre-cooked templates for you. You are welcome to use these as you see fit. You're welcome to modify them or create your own. Now, one thing I do see people do a lot is they'll come into here and they'll go custom HTML, but they don't know what to do with it. If you have no idea what to do, just start with this one. You can do a ton with it. Okay, it's easy to do. There's no reason to build just a text-based email unless you really want to, but I can't tell you any advantages for that. Okay. All right. Automations is kind of the next bread and butter. I'll show you two automations that I build in every single account. Kind of essential, but it'll give you, in my opinion, a view of what makes ActiveCampaign so unique. And that's their automations. So we're going to use these pre-cooked part 1 and 2 engagement tagging automations. And what these are for is it's just tagging that's always going to be behind the scenes, but it's going to keep a pulse on if your contacts are actually opening emails and engaged in that type of thing. Okay, so it's going to pop in the automation. I don't mind this automation, but I think the wait sequences from ActiveCampaign are a little off. So I think they're too aggressive. I'm going to go with 60 days for the first wait sequence. And what this means is if nobody opens an email, the most basic measure of engagement, if nobody opens an email for 2 months, we are going to take away, nobody opens anything for 2 months, we're going to remove the tag recent activity. They haven't done anything recently, okay? If we wait another 60 days, okay, it's been 4 months. And 4 months goes by pretty quick, guys. Then we're going to label them disengaged. And why this automation is powerful is at this point you could use that tag to trigger a re-engagement campaign. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for inactive. So if somebody hasn't opened one of my emails in 6 months, 60 days, I'm going to send them what I call a win back or a second tier of re-engagement emails. I'm going to really try to throw some crazy headlines at them and get them to open and just re-engage with the brand. Okay, that's kind of the purpose of this. Start triggers up here. Very easy to follow what's happening, even if you've never built an automation, because it's so visual. This is the beauty and the power of ActiveCampaign. It's user-friendly, but it's so powerful. There's so much you can do. I literally have not come across a challenge I couldn't do yet. Okay, don't forget to turn it on. These little notes are here if you want them. You can look at them, you can tweak them, you can delete them. Your choice. I delete them. I don't need them, and sometimes it won't go away. So what you do is you just click off of the automations and you go back into it, then it'll let you. Don't know why. It's always been that way. So we will pop back in here. And we're just going to create 2 automations in this video, just the most foundational, fundamental automations that every business needs on a new account setup. Okay. And we will get this out. And this is just saying, please make sure you know there's a part 2 that's critical to make this run. Okay. All right. And once you start running people through this, you'll find that if you don't send weekly emails or more frequent, people can get disengaged for 4 months and 6 months pretty quick, so if there's not much going on. Okay, so we're going to leave this just like it is, and again the power is this tag and this tag, And I've even created another 60 days and made a tag called checked out for people that haven't done anything in 8 months, a third tier. Okay. Something else that's very important that most people do a very, very poor job of is labeling. So not only labeling tags in a way that they can understand down the road, but other people can as well. Same thing with automation. So we're going to create a simple label for this. This is what I always do. Pick a color, doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put what it is. All right, automated tagging. And I do this for clients. Do not turn off. Might be a good reminder for yourself as well. Okay, there's no reason to ever turn it off. Next, automation, we're going to do part 2 of engagement tagging. And again, just setting you up for re-engagement. Okay, no downside to it, no risk. This is going to pop up. You're going to hit get started. It's going to ask you, so if we didn't do that site tracking, it's going to make you go set that up now. But since we've done that, it knows our domain. It's going to use the asterisk for the wildcard for any page on the domain. We're going to hit next. And it's going to tell you exactly what to do. So it says choose part 1 engagement tagging. If you do it right away, there's only one option. If you wait and do this after you have a few hundred automations, it gets a little bit more challenging to find it in that list. Okay, same thing, part 1 engagement tagging. All right, so the one other trigger I'm going to add here, so basically somebody reads an email, clicks a link, visits your website, and I'm going to add subscribes to a list. Okay, and this can be set for multiple times. Honestly, you don't even need this second one. All right, think about it. If somebody reads an email, it means they opened it. They have to do this before they can do this. So this really doesn't have any value. You just leave it there because it doesn't matter. And see, these are sets read multiple times as they should be. Reads an email, any list. Clicks a link, yeah. So that's fine. Again, there's notes in here. I don't need them. I'm gonna delete them. They're just messy. I don't want to see little red boxes. Okay. So what happens is anytime that you add somebody into your account, you will see people spinning around in part 1. You'll never see anybody in part 2. You always see them in part 1 because all part 2 does is pull them out of where they're at in part 1, pulls them out of the bottom, pops them back in the top of part 1. Okay. All right, so we've talked about the address, we've talked about a template, we've talked about a form, we've talked about a few lists. We're going to go ahead and turn that active, okay? And we won't get into the deals pipeline in this video. We'll keep it very, very basic. We will add another label here. Then generally, what every business should have, and if you don't, pay attention. This is me talking to you, is some kind of lead magnet delivery, right? They opt into your list. What do you give them? What are you giving them as a prize? How did you get them to opt in? Surely it wasn't join my newsletter. Surely it was, here's this amazing resource that is going to help you with something. And by joining my list and giving me your first name and email, you're getting this resource. So we're going to call this list prospects. It's going to have it run one time. And I'll just show you a basic lead magnet delivery automation. Show you how easy this is to set up. So this is what we call the trigger. This is what starts the automation. And we're just going to call this lead magnet delivery. Okay. So somebody subscribes. And what do we want to happen? Well, maybe you want a notification, okay? And what I typically do is take the core domain, put in notifications, and then send it to myself so I know what's going on. message. You're sending yourself a note. Say whatever you want. Hooray! You have a new subscriber. Okay. And you can put whatever message you want to yourself in there. And if you leave this stuff linked, it'll show you like their info, first name, email, that type of stuff. Okay. Messages can be empty. Okay. Congrats. Contact info is below. Again, this is a message you're sending to yourself just for the notification purposes. Okay. Nice to have, especially with purchases. So much fun. So much fun, but even getting new subscribers is fun. So you saw there was a menu that popped up here. There's also the same menu here. I prefer to use the one on the right. There is no rhyme or reason. It's just personal preference. Okay. So what you want to do with a lead magnet type delivery is you want to send them what you promised them right away. You don't want to make your contacts wait. Okay. I always label my email in every automation, email number 1, and then whatever sequence it's for. I'll show you why. Okay. Once you get a lot of emails in an automation, say 6 or more, and I've seen some with 50, 100, lots, and you look, well, I'm not going to show you right away, but I'll show you in a second. Basically, when you look in the view to see how the emails are performing, you'll just see a snippet of the description, and if you don't have the email number, you have no idea what you're looking at. So I don't have a template created because I didn't take the time to do that. I'm just going to pick a template for the purpose of this, just to get through it. You can use this tool to help generate some subject lines if that's not something you're strong at. I usually put TBD for to be determined, and I come back and do my subject line after I write my copy. I do it backwards like that, but do what works for you, okay? And then the email builders are just two-phase builders. You've got kind of your design phase. You can write and all that good stuff. And then if you hit next, then you see page 2. Page 2 is going to have your subject line. That's going to have your pre-header text, which I recommend because if you ever look at your cell phone and you get an email, you're generally going to see a teaser of a pre-header text, which is going to really help with the open rates, right? If you use that. So I would use that. I would pay attention to this, make sure this is what you want it to say. You don't need to, this is internal. Okay. Google Analytics, for whatever reason, is always defaulted off, which it should be defaulted on. I don't understand that. The way this works is if you have Google, if you have certain emails driving people back to where you have your Google Analytics, like your website, for example, you can actually see the names of the emails that help get them there. So this is information you want to have. So I always turn that on. There's no downside to it. Now, reply tracking, if you want to track this, if you look up here, the reply to address in your message changes to work properly. Okay? So you got to think about that if you want it to happen or not. I usually don't use it, but you got to be aware of that. Okay? Always check this spam check. If you have spammy headlines or spammy content, you'll see yellow and it'll tell you errors. If anything shows up here but passed, do not send the email. It's going to kill your deliverability. It is going to put you in a bad spot with spam filters. It's not something you want to do. So pay attention to this tool. It works very, very well. I always recommend when you're happy with what you've done on the design page, send yourself a test, view it on desktop and mobile. Okay. But then when you're ready, you can save and exit. The first time you run through it, you want to hit finish. Otherwise, the email will stay in draft mode. Okay. So in this little example here, somebody opts in. We find out about it. We send them the thing. Whatever the thing may be. And then we're going to end this automation. Okay. That's how it should look. Very, very simple. Okay, so we've got people into this list of prospects. Okay, obviously you could build an indoctrination or a welcome series that follows that, or nurture sequence. You can build all kinds of things, but this is some foundational stuff everyone should have. Okay, If you want to send a campaign email out, we've done enough to be able to do this. Create a campaign. We will pop in today's date, which I believe is something like that. We've got a few different options here. Automated, you can do in the automations menu. An autoresponder is a one email automation. So I typically use this one. Sometimes I use this, but you can do date-based from automations as well. You can do split testing from automations also. Okay, and you'll see kind of the 5 steps that you're going to walk through up here. What you do is you'll pick your list. If you have a segment of a list, so say for example, 10 people are on this list and 5 have a certain tag, you could create a segment and just send it to the 5 people with a certain tag in that example, or you can just send it to a straight list. I have no contacts. Anyway, so you will just walk through. This is the same 2 steps we saw in the previous email builder and send. Okay. So I'm just going to exit out of this for now. And we have no contacts. We didn't actually upload contacts. As I showed you before, you can upload them in a list, or you can upload them one by one. Now, why would you want to upload them one by one? For example, I have a Facebook group called Funnel Building for Profit. And when people come into there, one of the 3 questions I ask them is, hey, I've got an awesome resource for you, which is a funnel building course. With your permission, if you give me your email, I'll send it to you. Would that be okay? If they give me their email, they've given me consent. So I will come in here, I will add them. And you just need a few pieces of info. Okay. You really just need email. Email is the one unique character in ActiveCampaign. It's the one unique field that identifies everybody. Okay. You can add these other things. Sometimes it'll actually kick you past this screen automatically and it'll pop you right here. Okay. I see it happen all the time. So you'll end up here, and if you want to add people to lists, one-touch add, which is very convenient. Same thing with automations. If I wanted to add myself there, you can do it. Okay, add myself to a list, make it happen right away. Okay, that's simple. So there you go. You can hide empties if you want to. Again, you can enter tasks down here, notes, do all kinds of good stuff, right? So that gives you a really quick overview of how to set up the account so that if you do those things I just showed you, I just walked through, you can begin using your ActiveCampaign account right away. And I'm telling you, if you use it and you pay attention to your metrics and you actually invest some time playing around with it, you'll find it to be very, very, very valuable. Okay. And news of today, I actually saw this today, like I said, about March 13, 2020, but ActiveCampaign just hit 100,000 customers. So something must be working, right? They must be doing something well here. If you guys like this video, I'd encourage you strongly to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Intentionally Inspirational, and watch more videos on ActiveCampaign. So all kinds of good stuff here. Appreciate you watching. I'd love a like and a subscribe. See you next time.